When the exhausted crew of the fishing vessel Sea Hope was already prepared to accept the complete failure of their 2-week expedition, the navigator suddenly noticed a strange glow in the ocean depths. No one could guess what it meant, but the captain, against all common sense, ordered to change course and follow this mysterious phenomenon. The worn-out sailors silently obeyed, not suspecting that the next few hours would completely turn their lives upside down and make them believe in the impossible. What they discovered in this part of the ocean, where no fishing vessel had ever ventured, made even the most hardened crew members hold their breath in terror and amazement. 14 grueling days in the open ocean seemed endless. The vast expanses of the Pacific Ocean, where azure sky merged with dark waters, became both their home and their trial. Captain Mark Jensen, a man with storm-colored eyes and gray temples, carried the weight of responsibility for the entire crew's fate on his shoulders. His salt-hardened hands, marked with old scars, firmly gripped the worn helm. Each empty net cast was like a stab to the heart. Fuel was dwindling, food supplies were depleting, and the empty holds threatened not just financial ruin, but the loss of their fishing license. The crew of Sea Hope was like family, each knowing their role and understanding each other without words. Young mechanic Han Zhao, with golden hands and dreamy eyes, worked magic on the engines, squeezing out their last strength. Every evening he spent long hours in the engine room, where the smell of oil and metal mixed with salty spray seeping through the ventilation. First mate Miguel Ramirez, a man who knew the sea like the back of his hand, spent hours gazing at the horizon, thinking of his daughter Maria, who dreamed of medical school. His weathered pipe, passed down through generations, rarely went out, wreathing his silhouette in fragrant smoke. Ship's cook Amir al-Said, seasoned by all 7 seas, carefully rationed the remaining supplies. His wrinkled face, weathered by every ocean wind, grew more concerned each day. Young sailor Andrei Kovac, Hungarian by birth, whose ancestors had never seen the sea but whose soul inexplicably yearned for the water, recorded each day of their difficult journey in a worn diary. On the 7th day of sailing, a risky decision was made in the cramped mess hall to venture into distant ocean regions where fishing vessels rarely went. Maps spread on the table showed a dangerous route. It was a desperate move. The slightest breakdown far from shipping lanes could prove fatal, but there was no other choice. Silent Norwegian Erik Svensson, the navigator with a red beard, plotted the new course, hoping favorable weather would aid their mad venture. And the ocean, as if testing their resilience, finally showed mercy. On the 9th day, lookout Jamal Hassan, whose eagle eyes were legendary among fishermen, spotted unusual surface disturbance. It was a giant tuna school. The next 2 days became an endless battle with an unprecedented catch. The decks silvered with fish, winches groaned under heavy nets, and men worked until their hands blistered, knowing such chances come once in a lifetime. Majestic whales appearing near the vessel seemed like ancient ocean guardians blessing the fishermen's work. Their powerful spouts soared skyward, creating rainbows in the afternoon sun. Amir barely managed to prepare meals, which sailors swallowed right on deck, never stopping work. His usually celebrated spicy seafood pilaf was now consumed mechanically just to maintain strength, but the ocean decided to teach them another lesson in humility. On the return journey, the vessel encountered a fierce storm that appeared so suddenly even experienced meteorologists hadn't predicted it. Black clouds like giant sea monsters covered the sky. 3-story-high waves crashed against the hull, wind howling like 1,000 hungry wolves. For 18 hours, Captain Jensen never left the helm, steering the vessel around the storm's epicenter. Every mile was hard won, but they managed. It seemed all trials were behind them. A thin strip of land already showed on the horizon. But fate had one final test. Young sailor Andrei Kovac spotted a dolphin desperately fighting a fishing net tangled around its tail. Without hesitation, the captain decided to turn the ship around, despite the crew's exhaustion and proximity to shore. In their unwritten maritime code, helping those in distress was law, whether human or animal. For an hour they maneuvered near the desperate animal, fighting waves and current. Finally, through joint effort, they lifted the dolphin aboard. Han and Miguel, the strongest crew members, carefully held the animal while Amir, with his deft cook's hands, methodically cut the bindings. Andre poured water over the dolphin's skin, preventing it from drying. The animal's intelligent eyes watched the humans intently, its clicks seeming full not of fear, but hope and curiosity. After being freed, something remarkable happened. The dolphin didn't immediately swim away, but put on a real show, jumping out of the water near the vessel. Its leaps were filled with such irrepressible joy and freedom that even the most hardened sailors couldn't suppress their smiles. The sight was truly magical. A silvery body soaring above waves in the evening sunlight, scattered spray forming tiny rainbows. For almost an hour, the dolphin accompanied the vessel, diving underwater, then reappearing with a splash, as if thanking each crew member. Then other dolphins began joining. Its family had finally found it. Jamal, with his sharp vision, first noticed the approaching pod. Soon a real show unfolded around the vessel, dozens of graceful bodies synchronously leaping from the water, creating an unforgettable picture of unity between nature and man. When the dolphins finally disappeared into the depths and the evening sun painted the ocean golden, the crew of Sea Hope knew they had witnessed something special. Eric Svensson quietly recited an old Norwegian saying about kindness to the sea always returning tenfold. At that moment, they felt not just like fishermen with a rich catch, but part of something greater, the boundless ocean, where human compassion can work real miracles. So ended this amazing journey. The last rays of setting sun painted the sea surface purple, as if nature itself blessed these people who proved their hearts had room not only for hard work, but also for sincere kindness. And somewhere in the ocean depths swam a happy dolphin family, carrying memories of people who didn't ignore another's trouble. The story of Sea Hope became legend among fishermen, reminding all that even in the hardest times, one shouldn't lose faith in miracles and humanity.